evening, Indonesia, and welcome to the English-speaking version of Week in Review presented to you by Antara News Bali. My name is Jasmine.
And I'm her co-host, Elsa. For our first story, we will go to our correspondent, Bonita, on Borneo Island, reporting a story on Indonesia's latest forest protection project.
Thanks, Jasmine. On Wednesday, December 5th, Indonesia approved a landmark forest protection project. This project sets aside an area about the size of Singapore and rewards investors with tradable carbon credits, in the first of its kind to win formal backing in the country. The Rimba Raya Biodiversity Reserve will protect nearly 80,000 hectares or 200,000 acres of land, and most of it is carbon-rich peat swamp forest, which is at risk of being cleared for palm oil plantations. The Rimba Raya Biodiversity Reserve is part of a UN-led scheme called Reducing Emissions from Deforestation and Degradation, or REDD. This project could filter billions of dollars into community development projects that provide access to clean water, childhood development, health services, reforestation, and ecotourism. The approval was announced on the sidelines of UN climate talks in Doha, Qatar, by a senior Indonesia official. A letter saying the project had passed all the key steps was signed recently by Forestry Minister Zulkifli Hasan. Hasan said in a statement, "We hope projects like the Rimba Raya will lead the way in proving that conservation can address the rural development needs of the communities and also preserve our forests for generations to come." Indonesia is home to the world's third largest expanse of tropical forests, but these are quickly disappearing because of the rush to grow more food and exploit timber and mineral wealth. A major source of greenhouse gases is forest clearance. Investors such as Gazprom will receive carbon credits they can sell for profit or use to cut down their own emissions by saving the forest and getting rid of planet-warming carbon. The money from credit sales will also fund local livelihood projects. The area where the project will take place is right here in central Kalimantan province on Borneo Island, which is full of a rare animal species and adjoins a national park. It is designed to be a sanctuary for endangered orangutans. The goal of REDD is to show that forests can pay for themselves and compete with powerful palm oil, mining, and timber interests. This project challenges Indonesia's often poor conservation record and careless enforcement where national parks are illegally obtained. Additionally, palm oil firms have been found guilty of disobeying laws and illegally clearing forests for plantations. This is a small but significant step in terms of contributing to the government's efforts to reduce carbon emissions and showing that larger volumes of forest carbon credits can be sold to credible buyers, said Andrew Wardrell, Program Director of Forests and Governance at the Center for International Forestry Research in Indonesia. Saving Indonesia's forests are crucial to saving climate change. Its forests and peat swamps release huge amounts of carbon when they are cleared and drained, so this is a step in the right direction. Thank you, and back to Jasmine in the studio.
Thank you, Bonita. On December 6, 2012, iTunes was finally launched in Indonesia, and it's about time. We've been waiting for almost 6 months, because this June, Apple had announced the expansion of the iTunes Store into a dozen countries across Asia. Unfortunately, Indonesia was left out. This decision triggered disappointment and confusion among Apple fans here. It would really make sense for iTunes to come, as Indonesia is one of the 3 largest mobile markets in the world. However, Apple declined to comment on the reason that Indonesia was left off of the original iTunes list back in June. Many people assume it's because of the high rates of music piracy. It's a hard market for services like iTunes to succeed in due to piracy issues and disagreements between local music labels and download service providers. Would Indonesians want to buy the same music they can get for free illegally? Will iTunes succeed in a country with such a high piracy rate? Here to comment is Zizi, the founder of a local tech blog in Jakarta.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Zizi. Thank you for being on the show. Now, can you describe how big of a role piracy plays in Indonesia?
Sure. Well, as you know, piracy is defined as the unauthorized reproduction of a copyrighted work, such as a book, TV show, song, movie, etc. Pirated DVDs and CDs are available for under $1 everywhere in Indonesia. You can even find them in a gas station. Illegal downloads are also a huge problem. Indonesia was one of only a dozen countries to make the United States priority watch list of countries with high rates of piracy. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
What efforts efforts are being made to reduce the amount of piracy that goes on in Indonesia?
Well, the government is attempting to shut down illegal music download sites. The Ministry of Communication and Informatics blocked 20 illegal MP3 download sites at the end of May in 2012. Out of curiosity, I tried to access these sites months later, and sure enough, I wasn't able to.
So, Zizi, how do you think iTunes will factor into this type of a society?
Well, hopefully, by increasing the chance of a user to arrive at legal music download site, such as iTunes, will decrease the amount of piracy that goes on. Hopefully, by making these legal sites more accessible and illegal sites less so, people will actually start paying for music. After all, pirated movies and songs are awful quality, especially compared to the crisp HD quality video and sound that iTunes offers. iTunes is such a big market and so tempting to consumers that I think it will ultimately do good for Indonesia.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us, Zizi.
My pleasure, Jasmine.
Okay, now leave. We traveled to the Hambalang Athlete Training Center, the site of a local corruption scandal that caused an Indonesian sports minister to resign.
Roll that clip!
Last Friday, Indonesian sports minister Andi Malarangeng resigned, just a day after being named a suspect in a national corruption case. Indonesia's anti-corruption body, the KPK, named Mr. Malarangeng in a corruption case believed to have caused the state to lose around 244 billion Indonesian rupiah, which equals about 25 million US dollars. We are here today reporting on the scandal at the scene of the crime.
After almost a decade, the 2.5 trillion rupiah, or 260 million US dollars, Hambalang Athlete Training Center has been turning into a legal battle faster than a sports complex. Technical problems aside, the construction is dealing with legal problems as construction funds have been marked up. State auditors collected the amount in losses due to the alleged marking up of construction prices. The KPK has conducted investigations and recently named Mr. Malarangeng, who oversaw the construction, as a suspect in this scandal. When the KPK names someone a suspect, it means that they're accusing that person of wrongdoing and intend to file formal charges at a later date. If Mr. Malarangeng is convicted, he could face 20 years in prison. Without further elaboration, the KPK claimed simply that he abused his power to benefit himself and others at the expense of the state. Back to you, Jasmine.
Thanks, Elsa. Speaking to reporters on Friday, Mr. Malarangeng denied any wrongdoing, yet announced his resignation as sports minister. He said that he could not work effectively as a minister while facing the legal proceedings that will follow. In the lead-up to the upcoming 2014 election, the popularity of the current president's party, the Democrat Party, has been hard hit because Malarangeng is the third party member to face the court in connection with the sports facility project. Current President Mr. Yudhoyono had made a campaign promise to reduce corruption in Indonesia. Unfortunately for him, Transparency International says that Indonesia is in the bottom third of its corruption index among the most corrupt nations. And this scandal isn't helping anyone out. President Yudhoyono, the Democrat Party, or former sports minister Andi Malarangeng.
And that's a wrap. Thank you for watching. This has been Antara News Week in Review with Jasmine and Elsa. Bye!